So it's a generic presentation, so I'm going to go fast on certain slides which don't have any interest for you this morning. Just to show you, our DNA is made of consultancy activity and IT softwares. So that's why we say that we were born in 2016. In fact, the company originally was born in 2000. So it's already 18 years of consultancy and activity in the wine industry only, because we are specialized in that field. Sorry. Today we have around about 200 customers all over the world, France and Canada at the moment, tiny bit in UK and tiny bit in Uruguay. And we're going to launch the purpose of that speech this morning, which is Exapta, with the first version, which will be officially presented for the next show in Montpellier, as you know, this year. But it's already working. It's been working for 2 years now, and we're trying to adapt and to improve the settings and all the way we can propose it for the customers. 2019 will be a big change for us. We'll move from the existing version of Process to Wine to another one. The team, that's the assets of the company. Innovation is the heart of the big part of the activity of the company. We have at the moment 4 big projects. So Exapta, which is going to be released this year. We have another project with IV with Marc, which is Oiseau Sustained Cost, which is how to calculate the cost of the bottle and the carbon footprint of the company. And then the IOF 2020 project, which is part of a huge thing, and we're in the business case with ST Microelectronics. Our partners, sorry, they forgot Bordeaux Sciences Agro. We're located North America, in Canada and California, and in France, in Bordeaux, Reims, and now Montpellier next month. We know that the wine industry has a lot of challenges in the next years. It's mostly for the environment, for the traceability, which is not a big thing for us. Cooperation in between the workers is very, very important, because information system has to be collective and not individually managed by one people in the company, which is unfortunately still the situation that we see at the moment. It has to be automatic, because every time you ask the grower to put his hands in the engine, it doesn't work. It fails. It's not because they don't want to, it's just because they don't have the time to do it. And of course, the last point is performance, which is how to maximize my revenue from my estate without adding some more money on the table, but just saving costs by being more efficient in the processes. So that's why our platform is extremely oriented to the processes, and we are very close to an ERP system. We're a small SAP, and we manage from the vines to the truck when you ship the bottles to the customer. That's the whole functionalities that we manage. And we use innovation, connection, and expertise, because we're coming also from the technical side. Part of the DNA, remember it, it comes from the consultancy. Our goal is to create an ecosystem which is a full digital one, where the people would be connected and with to minimize the manual work in the system, in the information system. Why are we different from our competitors? We think that we have the mobile, which is more and more current now. We have the GPS system to track the tractors and the people too, because sometimes it could be helpful. And we think that traceability is just something which has to be managed by the regulations, but artificial intelligence will be the most big part of the business in the coming decades. So we manage the inputs, the inventories, all the equipment. We follow the equipment with GPS. We manage the blocks, the plots, everything with the mapping system, human resources. The heart of the system is the working orders, what we call gestion des interventions. That's the working tickets that you give to the people, and well, the time they spend, and that for the whole processes of the production. So this is what we do for the GPS system. So it's fully automatic for the people. Mobile version, so you can take pictures if you like. Traceability, of course, that's, I don't want to spend a lot of time on that. And that's the key thing. Artificial intelligence for us is to preserve environment, to make things more automatic and to reduce the costs. Exapta is born from kind of a chance to make some changes in the wine industry. It's because the agriculture model has to be changed. I think it's a bit in a kind of a no-way road. We see that properties are increasing in their size. We see that you have more and more regulations. We see that also the customers are more and more asking for being more environmentally friendly. And we see that people are more and more grouping themselves to consolidate the factors of the production. And we know that it's also a lot of criteria to manage at the same time. We've seen this morning that, God, it's a lot of things to deal with, right, for the people. So that's why it's tough to estimate and to evaluate the cost of the production. That's part of our goal, and to manage the different vineyards that you can have to do. So Exapta has been, as a module of process to wine, our ERP system, has been concepted in the sense of how to secure the production. Everybody knows that the growers sometimes they forget to spray one block or two blocks, and then during the harvest time you see that these grapes are going to the garbage. The objectives also it's to be more reactive and to manage and to optimize human resources and equipment, taking into account the weather forecast and the changes of the weather. Also we see people moving from conventional to organic farming or biodynamic. And in that situation they have to manage different spraying programs in the company. Organization, and also we'll see after that how to dimension the equipment that I need for the property. So we have process to wine, and we have with Exapta, which is a software, a module, two levels of planning. The strategical one, which is to dimension the number of tractors, sprays, what you need. And you're planning for the growing season, for the sprayings, and the stock, the inventory of chemicals that you have. And then we have something which is more detailed, which is for the operations on 1 decade, 10 to 12 days roughly, to be more reactive with the changes of the climate. And we know that it's, I agree with you, it's kind of a problem sometimes to get that reliability for a long-term prevision for the weather forecast. To follow the sprayings and that's the goal, to automatically plan the sprayings in the properties. So on the left-hand side, this is a planning. That's your spraying program for the year. On the right-hand side, it's the operation that you're going to do with all the sprayings. I go fast. This is what the software is taking into account, all the criteria that we have. Just to let you know that the grower, right, maybe in your system, can all the time make some changes on the settings with the risk that he wants to take or not, which is very important. What's the size of the problem to fix that? If you take, for example, a property which is 168 blocks, this is the amount of solutions that you have to deal with. So at the moment they have 8 tractors. You can mix 17 products with their spraying program. You have roughly 6 diseases to fight and this amount of days to work on. So we've used the Real Opt team from INRIA, which is at the University of Bordeaux. I'm not going to explain you that on the right-hand side, but that's algorithms We talked about that this morning already, to create that system, that software, which is going to produce the scenarios that the people will use on the day-to-day things. To be more simple, because the formulas are a bit complicated, this is what people are doing usually, right? So they have 2 tractors and they spray, and then on certain days the 2 tractors are in the shed, they are not working, and then you spray another part of the vineyard because you have the re-entry period of the products where the people can get in, so you have to take care of that. So at the end of the day, you see that you have many tractors staying in the shed, and it costs you a lot of money. What we propose is to, just with 1 tractor, to do something which is much more optimized, so that the people can secure the protection of the vineyard first, without forgetting any blocks, and secondly also to be able to save money and to use that other tractor to do something else. In other words, this is what people do usually, this is what we propose. So that's a result. Jasperine is a very interesting property for us. It's 170 blocks. You've seen the numbers, but it's a very, very old spread vineyard all over the appellation, and that's why the different situations, different soils, different varieties, different microclimates is very interesting for us to test the reliability of the software. And you see that the total cost is 180,000 euros, where Exapta is ready. It's I think it's 2015 as the growing season is ready to go down to 145. So who would refuse to save that amount of money every single year just with the software? The advantages of the solution of Exapta plus Process to Wine, because you need the ERP system, it's to secure your technical itinerary, to reduce the costs, to simplify the organization. We have more and more people, contractors, who wants to use that because they save a lot of money in the organization of the sprayings for their customers. You can simulate and have a lot of options. The system will deal with that, and the scale of the property that we can go up to 3,000 hectares at the moment. The system is ready to work on that. Just to let you know that this line is very important, because at the beginning it took roughly a week to calculate the solutions and to propose a scenario which is a working order every single morning for the people, for the drivers, right? And now it's 20 seconds to do it. So we've improved with the university the calculations, the time it takes to be calculated and to propose solutions for the people. You preserve your image, which is very important now, right? And you can also plan the human resources, which are more and more difficult to manage and to get also in the vineyard. Thank you.